Bill Gates has already changed the world once with nothing but a keyboard, a vision, and a billion-dollar mind. But what happens when we take that same man and drop him into the world of Fullmetal Alchemist? By the way, if you are also playing games and in World of Warcraft like me, click the link on the description below to level up and farm golds effortlessly. In this alternate crossover, Gates isn't just a tech giant, he's a state alchemist, one with no supernatural gifts, just intelligence, experimentation, and the world's most dangerous question. If alchemy is just science we don't fully understand, then can real-world science replace it? Let's break it down. Meet the engineer alchemist. In Amestris, most state alchemists have some kind of elemental specialization. Mustang has flame, Edward Elric has hardening and reconstruction. But in this timeline, Bill Gates enters the program with no flashy power. His transmutation circles? They're hand-drawn but quickly replaced with portable etched circuits and miniaturized glyphs powered by real-world physics. While other alchemists rely on tradition and instinct, Gates builds machines that replicate and automate transmutation. While other alchemists control fire, Gates creates heat via solar concentrators. While others reconstruct stone, Gates uses early 1900s-style mechanical printers to automate stone cutting with precision. He questions every step of alchemy. Why do we rely on this? What if we can simulate it? And what if we don't need it at all? Science in a supernatural world. The key tension in Fullmetal Alchemist is always between science and mysticism. Alchemy itself is treated as a science, but one deeply tied to spirituality, natural laws, and in some cases, godlike forces like truth and the gate. But Gates being Gates refuses to accept that kind of limit. He starts mapping out transmutation as if it were a programming language. Step by step, symbol by symbol. He treats circles like code. He doesn't just want to do alchemy, he wants to debug it. His lab is filled with early computers, mechanical calculating engines, punch card readers, chemical synthesizers. He builds wearable tools that let soldiers carry out small-scale transmutations on the field, even if they have no talent. That alone changes the battlefield dynamic in Amestris. He proposes theories that make traditional alchemists uncomfortable. That alchemy is not gifted, it's replicable. And if it's replicable, it can be surpassed. That's when the resistance begins. The state doesn't like innovation. Bill's rise catches the attention of the Amestrian military almost immediately, not because he's dangerous, but because he's unpredictable. He publishes papers suggesting alchemy's power can be mathematically simulated, that with the right energy sources and refined materials, transmutation can be reduced to engineering. The state sees the threat. If alchemy becomes democratized accessible to anyone with a blueprint and a machine, it weakens their hold. Alchemists like Mustang, Armstrong, and Basque Grand are valuable because they're rare. If Gates proves his theory, their monopoly crumbles. He's summoned by Führer King Bradley, offered a choice: stop pushing the boundary, or become a tool of the military-industrial complex. He chooses a third option. He keeps innovating, but now in secret. Reverse-engineering the Philosopher's Stone. Of course, Gates can't ignore the Philosopher's Stone, the forbidden technology that allows alchemists to bypass the law of equivalent exchange entirely. For him, it's the ultimate challenge, a cheat code to the universe that shouldn't exist. He starts gathering everything he can on the stone, notes from past alchemists, wartime reports, survivor testimonies, and eventually, he cracks it. He learns the truth. Human souls, hundreds of them, trapped inside a red crystalline catalyst. That's the engine behind the stone's infinite power. He's horrified, but also fascinated, because if the Philosopher's Stone is a battery, then maybe there's a way to build a new one, not with souls, but with science. So Gates begins work on the impossible. The Solar Stone Project. It takes months, dozens of prototypes, but finally, he builds it. A metal core, layered with superconducting materials, absorbing energy from a rotating solar array system, stored in condensed chemical batteries. The result? A power source that can provide sustained transmutation without the need for traditional circles. He calls it the Solar Stone. It's not as strong as the real thing. It can't bring the dead back, but it can heal injuries, reinforce structures, and power devices on the fly. For the first time, he's created alchemy that doesn't require alchemy. The military finds out, sends a team to retrieve it. Gates lets them take the prototype, because by then, he's already built 10 more. Gates versus the Homunculi. The moment he touches the secrets of the stone, he's on Father's radar. The homunculi envoys of the true antagonist begin targeting Gates. First subtly, then directly. Lust appears first, pretending to be a state scientist, trying to seduce knowledge out of him. Gates already knows she's not human. He's been monitoring her for weeks. He plays along, then leads her into a trap, a Faraday cage-reinforced lab that emits enough electromagnetic interference to confuse even Envy's shapeshifting. Next comes gluttony. He tears through a safe house to find Gates working calmly behind bulletproof glass, speaking into a microphone. So, you don't like energy shields? He presses a button. The The room floods with pressurized gas, and gluttony is launched from the facility like a failed rocket test. Eventually, even Father himself takes notice, because Gates isn't just resisting, he's evolving, building new rules inside a world built on ancient ones. Edward Elric meets Gates. Eventually, Ed and Alphonse cross paths with Gates. At first, Ed is suspicious. He hates the military and doesn't trust state alchemists who toe the line. But Gates shows him something Ed's never seen: a full-body prosthetic, powered by electricity and wireless command circuits. Equivalent exchange, Gates tells him, is a rule we followed because we had no better ideas. But humans evolve. We build workarounds. Ed is blown away. Al can't believe it either. For the first time, they see a path toward regaining their bodies without a Philosopher's Stone. They begin working together. It's not just chemistry or arrays anymore, it's bioengineering, microreactors, and structural computation. They combine Ed's knowledge of transmutation with Gates's real-world logic. And in the middle of it all, they start redefining what it means to be an alchemist. War breaks loose. But change doesn't go unnoticed. The Amestrian military grows more unstable. Rumors of dissent, officers defecting, Scar leading uprisings with new allies, many of whom are using Gates's tech without understanding how it works. Father accelerates his plan. The promised day is coming. Gates realizes the country is just a battery. The whole nation was designed to feed Father's transmutation circle. He knows what's coming, so he builds a counter system, an overlay of energy disruptors embedded in state buildings, energy pulse transmitters hidden in aqueducts, and a backdoor protocol, a literal kill switch for the transmutation circle below the capital. And when the day comes and Father tries to activate it, the circle fails. Gates' tech scrambles the input, redirects the energy. For the first time in centuries, alchemy betrays its original master. Father goes feral, consumes pride, tries to attack Ed and Gates together. They fight side by side. Ed uses his traditional alchemy to block attacks. Gates uses a field generator to create a high-pressure magnetic bubble. Together, they hold the line until Ed manages to strike the final blow. After the alchemy, the Homunculi are defeated, the country's system is exposed, and Gates becomes one of the most powerful men in Amestris, not by force, but by innovation. But he doesn't want power. He wants infrastructure. He starts rebuilding cities using clean energy, brings education to areas the military ignored, trains a new generation, not just alchemists, but engineers, doctors, builders. He sets up the first Amestrian Science Institute, where students are taught both alchemy and physics, not one over the other. He leaves behind a letter to Edward. True alchemy was never about bending the world. It was about understanding it. And science, real science, does the same thing, just slower, more honestly. Ed keeps it in his pocket for the rest of his life. Can science replace alchemy? In the end, Bill Gates doesn't destroy alchemy, he complements it. Alchemy and science become twin forces, one drawing from the mysteries of the past, the other pushing toward the clarity of the future. Gates never picks up a weapon, never creates flame or summons walls from the ground, but he builds a better world, not by hacking the laws of nature, but by following them. And in a world obsessed with shortcuts and miracles, he reminds everyone that the long way around might be the real Philosopher's Stone after all. If Bill Gates entered the world of Fullmetal Alchemist, he wouldn't try to replace the Elric brothers or outshine Roy Mustang. He'd just do what he's always done: analyze the system, find the flaw, and build something better. And in doing so, he'd transform Amestris not with a single clap, but with a blueprint. Thanks for watching this wild crossover. If you liked it, hit like and subscribe for more real-world X-anime breakdowns. Drop your favorite real person dropped in an anime world combos in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.